Yes.
They're just now talking about breaking ground. The truth is that there are critical hardware and critical softwares that must be put in place.
Yeah.
They finally understand the necessity for the hardware, but don't understand the software. And I know they don't understand the software because what most Jamaicans don't recognize is that the Prime Minister is the leader of CARICOM external trade negotiation.
Talk to me.
And in that capacity, as the leader of CARICOM external trade negotiation, he has not had one negotiation with any state. And therefore, we continue to rely.
Sir Hilton, that can't be true.
It is true. It is true. It is a fact. He's the head of CARICOM. In fact, he hardly attended any CARICOM meeting. In fact, he has acted in ways to create tension within CARICOM by putting forward his Minister of Foreign Affairs to challenge a sitting CARICOM nominated member for the CARICOM Commonwealth Secretary General position.
How long has he been the head of the CARICOM? What the CARICOM what?
The CARICOM external negotiation.
How long has he been the head of that committee?
From the time he assumed the position of Prime Minister of Jamaica. That's a position to which every Jamaican Prime Minister has the responsibility once they become Prime Minister of Jamaica. That's a position given to Jamaica.
For 9 years, he has been the head of the Caribbean External Negotiating Committee?
Correct.
And you are saying that he has done nothing for the 9 years?
No trade agreement, nothing. No trade agreements. And the point about the trade agreement is this: when it comes to our solution, I will tell you that our plans going forward is to enter into a number of bilateral trade agreements.
But we must.
Because we believe we have to shift the source and routes of supply to our economy and not be so overly dependent on the United States economy, because over 60% of our exports goes to the United States.
Yes.
And they have been relying on the fact that we have a CARICOM, a Caribbean Basin Initiative, something that was gifted to us by the United States government.
Mm-hmm.
But that when you get a gift, rather than having a contract with the government or with any other government, as in any other gift, someone can withdraw the gift if they choose to do so.
Or stop giving, just not giving no more.
Or stop being charitable. And this is what is occurring now. The U.S. government has decided to stop being charitable, as they have complained that people have taken the United States for granted and abused the United States, as Mr. Trump has been saying recently.
Yes.
And therefore, where we used to send most of our goods from Jamaica into the U.S. duty-free, it will now receive a 10% duty on tariff. Now,
so,
let me, and the goods, those goods,
hold on,
those
sorry,
same goods.
Hold on, before you continue. Was the Jamaican government caught off guard with this tariff?
Of course they were, and I know this because during the budget debate that just ended, I asked the Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, and it's on the record, he cannot deny it. And he has repeated it several times. He has repeated the silly response several times, which I asked him, what preparation is the government making in the eventuality that tariff is imposed on Jamaican goods? His response was, well, we are not the target. The target is people who are exporting fentanyl, which is a drug, into the U.S. market, or they have a trade surplus with the United States, neither of which Jamaica is doing or is in a position to do, because Jamaica, as we all know,
we have a deficit.
Has a trade deficit.
Yes.
With the world, not just with the United States.
With the world.
With the world.
With everybody.
With everybody. That means we're not doing enough for exports.
Right.
And therefore, it tells you that they were very, very laid back and believe that their friendship with our friendship with the United States, and as Rubio said, that this administration is the most supportive of the U.S. So they thought that nothing could happen to the good people.
So obviously on Rubio's visit, they never said anything to him about any trade or tariff.
No, because Rubio is not the trade minister. Rubio is a foreign minister. He's a foreign secretary. He's not the trade representative.
Right.
The United States government is structured somewhat differently. It is what is now being proposed by Mark Golding. I would be the trade minister based upon my portfolio responsibility.
Right.
And the foreign affairs will be Dr. Angela Brown-Burke. So we have shifted the trade ministry in the ways that the United States, more along the line that the United States has.
Mm-hmm.
But the important point I'm making is this, that they're neither prepared for the shock, not now, because that preparation should have been made a long time ago. They should have implemented a logistic hub.
Yes.
They should have entered, and if you know about and understand the logistic hub, it calls for diversification in your trade arrangements. And therefore, this is why I said they understood, they finally got the vision, they finally logged on to the vision,
mm-hmm.
but don't understand
how
the
to get it done
software and the ecosystem that needs to go with it.
Yes.
And therefore, because they didn't come up with the plan, they have no clue about how to implement it. So the idea now of just simply going to put some infrastructure at the Cayman Special Economic Zone, which I recommended 13 years ago, is just simply too little, too late.
But if they don't understand the software, Sir Hilton, and they're going to put on this infrastructure, isn't it going to be a waste?
Of course. Well, let me give you a quick and easy example. It's like they went around and set up the Jamaica Eye program. And what did that require? They went up and set up all kind of cameras all over the place and light posts and all over the place.
And no software.
No, to come to find out they're not working. And when we say, well, why aren't they working? They say, well, the back office, the software isn't in place.
That is the worst thing in life.
Yeah, so I'm just saying it's a similar thing, because they're now proposing now to start doing something on the hardware, but the software they don't understand. And part of the software I'm saying to our Jamaican people are the trade agreements that he had the opportunity to put in place. He's the head of CARICOM Trade External Negotiation.
Right.
And he has done nothing. In fact, he has acted in ways to antagonize our CARICOM partners by sending the foreign minister to challenge a sitting CARICOM-sponsored members as CARICOM Secretary General.
So instead
this
of
is something that is not done.
Instead of create harmony, he's been rather antagonistic.
Disarm, absolutely. So he's not, to my mind, the best person to mobilize CARICOM, which is what is needed now. You have now to mobilize CARICOM. And I heard him yesterday at the launch on Friday, yesterday, yes?
At the expo. That was Thursday at the expo.
Thursday evening at the launch of the things, saying about his CARICOM brothers and sisters. And just remember he has some brothers and sisters. Just like how he just remembering the poor in Jamaica.
No, sir.
He's just remembering the poor in Jamaica, saying he's gonna drive growth for all Jamaica, after he has spent the last 9 years favoring the rich.
Explain to my listeners Explain to my listeners and viewers, Sir Hilton, what effect this 10% tariff may have on Jamaica.
Well, my brothers and sisters listening, this will have just don't listen to me, listen to our private sector. The JMEA, the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, is the body that is now speaking and expressing their deep concern and saying the government must act. The Prime Minister now recognizes that. He is now saying to them, oh, we're going to walk with you the entire way. The truth is, it is not walking with them that they need now. He should have been exercising the leadership.
Yes.
That's what's required to build this economy. And I'm arguing very strongly that he has not been exercising that leadership. And I come back to the fact that what the economy needed, one was the vision that we had in the previous administration to build a logistic hub. The people should understand that the logistic hub is about trade.
Yes.
It's about bringing trade, goods to Jamaica to be traded and transported across the region, not just to Jamaica. This was never a project just about Jamaica. It may be in Jamaica, but it's about the entire region. In fact, the entire hemisphere. Because there are 3 existing logistics hubs in the world, as of recognized in the world today. One in Europe one in Amsterdam, covering all of Europe.
Yeah.
One in Asia, Southeast Asia, and Singapore, covering all of Asia.
Also Singapore,
and one
as
in Dubai,
hub.
covering the Middle East and Africa. There's none in the Americas.
So we need to build that one and stop wasting time.
We were proposing to building one in Jamaica for the Americas. And that's a vision that most people, including the current government, did not understand and weren't able to log on to until COVID hit. Then they started to say, "Ratted." That's what Mr. Hilton was talking about.
And the fact that we're right on the edge of the Panama Canal gives us prime place to do this.
Look, Jamaica's location is ideal. All of the major trade routes in the world pass nearest Jamaica. We have thousands of ships passing Jamaica every day.
You know one of the things.
Every day.
You know one of the things, Sir Hilton, I tell people.
Laden with goods going elsewhere, and our simple proposition was, let us make this a hub where they have the option of stopping in Jamaica, laying off the goods, going to different places, because the largest ships cannot visit all the ports in the region.
Oh, so
and we recognize 2 things. One, that the ships are getting larger and larger.
Yes.
And the larger the ships get, is the fewer stops they can and will make.
And we can accommodate all those large ships.
Indeed.
So
we were the ones that put forward the proposal for CMA CGM.
I remember, Sir Hilton, I remember one of the things you were putting forward to build a harbour at Kobe. Is Kobe?
Absolutely. And at Bowden.
And that would also prep up the logistics up in Jamaica.
Absolutely. It was part of the strategy to build, because Kobe is the deepest harbor we have one of the deepest harbor in this entire hemisphere. And what I proposed was that could use some of what you call in the shipping business ultra large vessels,
massive ones,
right? The biggest ships in the world.
They could come to Kobe.
Yes, would come to Kobe, and they will carry not containers, they would carry commodities in bulk. They could carry bulk commodities. They could carry wheat, corn, food, oil, whatever. For the largest ships in the world.
For my listeners who don't know, where's Kobe?
Kobe is in Yallas, in Yallas,
St. Thomas. So St. Thomas, imagine you have a harbor that can take the largest ships in the world. Is that still on the table under PNP administration, Sir Hilton?
Of course, we'll continue to explore that, because it makes sense. It made sense then, and it makes even better sense now.
You spoke about Bowden. What are the possibilities? Why you're looking at Bowden?
Bowden is important because we need a port that can take our food, and that will affect Portland. All of Portland.
But I asked Bowden because we have a wharf here in Port Antonio, Boundbrook Wharf, where we used to ship bananas from, and it is just sitting there now rotting.
Well, either one of those or both of those, depending on the draft, right? Meaning the depth of the water, right? Because you want the deeper the water, the harbor, the more useful it is, because the vessels are getting larger and larger.
Right.
So if when we do the exercise, the Boundbrook Wharf is of the depth that we believe
we know
Boundbrook
Wharf have some constraints. I think the depth is about 9 meters, so it couldn't take anything with that draft.
That's perhaps a bit too shallow. The larger ships are required larger, deeper harbors.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because the ships are getting larger, they're not staying small.
Definitely.
Right? No. So we have to rationalize it and do it in a way that will affect the parishes and the region.
Yes.
And to help them to integrate into the region. And this is why I've been saying that our plan to build a highway to St. Thomas and into Portland was watered down, and they give them a road, an improved road to St. Thomas.
I wonder if people remember that.
People of St. Thomas and Portland that they should be happy. A highway is a different infrastructure from a road.
Definitely.
From an improved road. A highway is a different infrastructure from an improved road.
Talk to us about that, Sir Hilton. What was the plan to build that highway from Harborview into Port Antonio, different from what they have done?
Yeah, we articulated the plan and the strategy to build a highway, and we even aligned. We mapped it out, and it would have gone into the different parts, opening up different parts of St. Thomas and into Portland.
Definitely.
And they came, and the then Minister of Finance, Audley Shaw, told the Jamaican people and said, and it's on record, that St. Thomas has too big a project for St. Thomas.
In fact,
they took some of the money and to construct the bypass in Montego Bay.
In fact, Sir Hilton, he said it did make economic sense to build a highway from Harborview into Port Antonio.
This is the point, because they don't understand the vision. Because they're looking at roads and we're looking at highways to connect as part of the domestic logistic hub.
Yes.
To move our goods and people efficiently around Jamaica and to connect to the system that P.J. Patterson started.
Definitely.
The highway.
So they've never understand it.
So they never understood it. So they opposed, as Siaga did in opposing P.J.'s vision. And then they came and named the road after Portia came and built the North-South Highway. Named the road after him, after they didn't have the vision about the highway. So I'm saying, they did not grasp the vision for the road from Harborview to St. Thomas and to Portland through St. Thomas. Mm-hmm. And therefore, all they've been doing is just improving the road network. They didn't build the highway, which was designed to improve travel and to improve the economy of the eastern part of the island. And they never understood it. And we keep saying to them, what is needed is a highway, not a road, and not an improved road that they're doing a poor job of constructing right now.
Sir Hilton, I am seeing a couple of messages in my chat room. And these messages lead me to ask you this question. The lands around Kobe, who own those lands?
Well, I don't know who's owning them now. I hear all kinds of activities taking place around those lands. But at the time, it was owned by a mix of private and government. Now, I don't know what has gone on in the darkness since we left government.
Sir Hilton, the people...
But all of that will come to light.
The people in the chat room seems to know something that you and I don't know. They are even calling names of who own the lands around Kobe, you know?
Well, you see, what it would mean is that they have, like so many other things, they have taken strategic ideas and position themselves to benefit from them privately.
There you go. They know what might be coming. So they go and buy the lands. And that's why I said to people, Sir Hilton, it is unethical for a prime minister to be hustling and juggling while being a prime minister. For a parliamentarian to be hustling and juggling while in the parliament because you know things that the average man don't know. So you're using your position as a parliamentarian, as a prime minister, to strategically buy up lands in some areas and invest in some companies that you have insight of what is going to happen. It's unethical.
Well, look, this is why the Integrity Commission is in place.
Yes.
Because if any, not just prime minister, any parliamentarian who have that kind of information and is using it for their private wealth,
yes,
they have to declare it. And if you don't declare it and you can't explain the wealth, then you're going to be in problem with the Integrity Commission. So it is part of the problems that we have now. And so the investigations are on, and we need answers to them, because that's precisely the point I'm making, my brother, which is that all of these plans are there. And you asked me a question about who has purchased the land.
Yeah.
I personally don't know. Others, but you see, in Jamaica, nothing is secret enough. Somebody knows something. So,
then that's why people are actually calling names, Sir Hilton. We're just not going to repeat them. But there are names in the chat room.
I don't suggest you do until there is a proper investigation.
Exactly. But is it one of the reasons we saw a release from the Integrity Commission the other day asking for government agencies to give them all the information on all the lands and assets that they own, that they have sold over the last year or something like that? Is that the reason why the Integrity Commission is trying to get these information?
Well, let me say this. In the same way that person can be sending you these information, they are sending them to the Integrity Commission as well.
Well done.
And the Integrity Commission will pursue them and to investigate to make sure that what they're saying is true.
Yes.
And if it is true, then that's a problem. If the person is either a parliamentarian or is sitting in a strategic position inside the bureaucracy, inside government.
And
inside the ministries and agencies,
and
like
using
land,
that information,
and land ministry.
Yeah, using the information to scoop up the land.
Using the information for personal wealth. That's what is called corruption. Using those information that are public information for personal wealth.
If you're just joining us, we're talking to Anthony Hilton, Shadow Minister on Trade and Global Logistics, a man who knows logistics by the light, because him know the back of him on.